Our youngest son betrayed his own brother by having an affair with his girlfriend, then attempted to marry her. After being cut off by the entire family, he's now completely alone and blames us for destroying his life. I had always believed I had a loving, stable family. My family consists of me, M55, my wife Emily, F50, and our two sons Adam, M28, and Ryan, M25. Emily and I spent our lives trying to provide a nurturing home, instilling what we thought were good values in our children. But now everything has shattered, and I can't help but wonder if we're somehow to blame for this heartbreaking situation. It feels like we've failed as parents, and our family is fractured beyond repair. Adam and Ryan had always had a close, loving relationship. I'm not going to say everything was perfect. They had their usual sibling rivalry, competition, and secrets, but it was never anything out of the ordinary. Emily and I thought we had a solid family. Sure, Ryan showed streaks of jealousy towards Adam now and then, but we brushed it off as normal sibling behavior. One example that stands out is when Adam was selected for his high school football team. Ryan was happy for him, but for a few days, he seemed glum and felt inferior. Emily and I sat him down, reassured him that he couldn't compare himself to Adam, since Adam was older and more experienced. Ryan understood, and it wasn't something we ever viewed as a major issue. There wasn't any maliciousness in his jealousy. It wasn't always Ryan feeling jealous either. Adam had his moments too. One recurring problem was that Adam wasn't good with girls. He was shy, awkward, and anxious in social situations. On the other hand, Ryan was outgoing and confident, and naturally, he had more luck with dating. This sometimes left Adam feeling lonely and inadequate, and when he did, Emily and I would be there to comfort and support him. In short, we weren't a perfect family, but we were a loving one. We faced challenges, arguments, and disagreements like everyone else, but we always found a way to work things out. Most importantly, we supported each other no matter what. When Adam left for college, something shifted in him. He became more outgoing and extroverted, started attending parties, and embraced a social life. It was a big change from the quiet, introverted boy we had known, but Emily and I were happy for him. He finally seemed to be coming into his own. It was during this time that Adam met a young woman named Lauren. She was 2 years younger than Adam, and it wasn't long before he brought her home to introduce her to us. At the time, Adam was 22 and Lauren was 20. Emily and I instantly liked her. She was kind, warm, and polite. Adam seemed truly smitten with her, and they appeared happy together. A few weeks after that visit, Adam confided in me that he believed Lauren was the one. He told me he was certain he wanted to marry her. I told him that while I liked Lauren and thought they seemed great together, they were both young, and it wouldn't hurt to take their time. I advised him to be sure about their long-term compatibility before making any life-altering decisions, as people change as they grow older. Adam took my advice seriously, but his feelings for Lauren were strong. We met Lauren a few more times over the next year and a half, and everything seemed to be going well. However, Ryan had not yet met Lauren because he was away at college in a different state. It wasn't until later that the cracks started to show. Adam started having problems with Lauren about a year and a half into the relationship. He didn't tell us much at first, just that they were going through a rough patch. He became withdrawn and stopped bringing her around. Whenever we asked what was going on, he would brush it off, insisting that they were just working through things. Emily and I didn't push him to share more, respecting his privacy. A few months later, Adam and Lauren broke up. It was hard to watch Adam go through that kind of pain. Lauren had been his first serious girlfriend, and the breakup devastated him. He didn't offer us any details about what led to the breakup, and despite our repeated attempts to find out, he remained tight-lipped. Their relationship had lasted a little over 4 years, and it took Adam more than a year to fully move on. Eventually, he met someone new, a woman named Rachel, F26, and he seems much happier and more at ease with her now. Both Emily and I were relieved to see him moving forward with his life. Ryan, on the other hand, never settled down. He had a string of relationships and flings throughout college and beyond. We didn't interfere with his personal life. He was an adult, and we assumed he knew what he was doing. We didn't realize at the time that Adam had been distancing himself from Ryan ever since the breakup with Lauren. He rarely came home, and he avoided family gatherings, which we attributed to his introverted nature and busy schedule. Adam often made excuses not to attend family functions, and instead of visiting us, he invited us to visit him at his place. Ryan, on the other hand, continued coming home regularly, and nothing seemed off with his behavior. It wasn't until recently, a few days ago in fact, that everything came to light. Ryan came to us and announced that he had someone special he wanted to introduce. Emily and I were excited. This would be the first time he was bringing someone home to meet us. We were eagerly anticipating meeting his girlfriend, but when the door opened and I saw who he had brought home, it felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me. It was Lauren. Ryan stood there with Lauren and told us that they were getting married. I was speechless, and so was Emily. We stood there for what felt like an eternity, too shocked to say anything. I honestly thought it was some kind of cruel prank, but the serious looks on their faces told me it was real. The first question I asked was whether Adam knew about this. Lauren shifted uncomfortably, and Ryan claimed that Adam had known for a long time and was okay with it. But I knew my sons, and there was no way Adam would ever be okay with this. I called Ryan out on his lie, telling him I didn't believe what he was saying. That's when Ryan lost his temper. He started shouting about how we were playing favorites, how we'd always fawned over Lauren when she was with Adam, but now that she was with him, we couldn't even look her in the eye. He said he expected us to be happy for him and support his relationship, and that we were hypocrites for treating him differently from Adam. He accused us of double standards, saying we had no problem accepting Lauren when she was with Adam, but now we couldn't tolerate her being with him. I was furious. I told him that what he had done was unthinkable, that it was a betrayal of his brother and there was no excusing it. I couldn't even bring myself to look at him anymore. I expected Emily to back me up, but when I turned around, she was gone. A few minutes later, she returned with Ryan's important documents and threw them in his face. She told him to never show his face in our house again. Ryan stormed out with Lauren, leaving us both stunned and heartbroken. As soon as they left, Emily called Adam and asked him if he knew about Ryan and Lauren. That's when Adam revealed the full story. He told us that the reason he and Lauren broke up was because she had cheated on him with Ryan. He didn't know it at the time, but a couple of months after their breakup, he learned that Ryan had been the other man. Adam had tried to salvage his relationship with Lauren after discovering the infidelity, but the betrayal weighed too heavily on him, and he ultimately broke things off for good. When Ryan and Lauren started dating shortly after, Adam realized his own brother had been the one to betray him. I asked Adam if he ever confronted Ryan, and he said he had. He asked Ryan why he had done it, how he could betray his own brother. Ryan's only response was, "We all do stupid things when we're in love." That was the last time Adam spoke to Ryan. I asked Adam why he never told us any of this, and he said he didn't want us to think poorly of either him or Ryan. He felt it was his personal issue and didn't want to drag us into it. Hearing Adam's side of the story completely broke me. My heart ached for him, and I felt like I had failed as a father. I apologized for not being there for him, and for not realizing what was happening between him and Ryan. I felt guilty for not noticing the distance between them sooner. 3 days have passed since Ryan and Lauren's visit, and Emily and I are still in shock. We've decided we will not be attending their wedding. For us, Ryan is no longer part of our family. I told Emily that I wanted nothing more to do with Ryan or Lauren. They were dead to me now. Adam, however, asked us not to sever ties with Ryan over this, but both Emily and I feel this is the right decision. Then, yesterday, I received a call from my father. He and my mother live down south, and while we don't see them often, we're close. Years ago, when Adam and Ryan were born, my parents set up separate funds for each of them, which were intended to help cover their college expenses. Both boys ended up getting partial scholarships, so my parents' funds remained untouched. On their 21st birthdays, my father told both Adam and Ryan that they could use the money however they wished. Well, it turns out that Ryan was planning to use his fund to finance his wedding with Lauren. My father called me, furious. Ryan had complained to him about our refusal to support his wedding, and my father was livid. He yelled at me, saying I had abandoned my own son on the most important day of his life. He said that Lauren was a lovely girl, and that I should trust Ryan's judgment. I was getting angrier by the second, but I realized my father didn't know the full story. I muted the phone and asked Emily if we should tell him the truth. She said we had to, otherwise everyone would blame us and Adam for what was happening. When my father finally stopped yelling, I calmly explained the entire situation. I told him how Ryan had betrayed Adam, how Lauren had cheated on Adam with Ryan, and how Adam had found out months after the breakup. I explained that we had learned all of this just a few days ago, and that's why we refused to support the wedding. At first, my father didn't believe me. He accused me of playing favorites and making up lies to save face. He demanded proof. That's when Emily pulled out her phone and found a photo of Lauren and Adam together from when we first met her. We sent the picture to my father, and there was a long silence on the other end of the line. Finally, he sighed and said he'd call me back after he processed everything. This morning, Emily got a call from my father. He had confronted Ryan about everything, and Ryan had tried to lie his way out of it, but my father saw through it. My father told Ryan that he would not be receiving a single penny from his fund for the wedding. Ryan broke down, crying, begging my father to reconsider. He reminded him that he had been told he could use the money however he wanted, and it was unfair to take it away now. But my father stood firm. He told Ryan that because of his betrayal and his entitlement, he would not be giving him the money. Not now, not ever. To make matters worse for Ryan, my father said the fund would now go to Adam instead. Ryan tried to backtrack, apologizing, saying he'd only said things in anger, but it was too late. My father had made up his mind. Ryan wouldn't see a penny of that money. Later in the day, my father called me again, this time with a new proposal. He said he wanted to make the whole situation public to the rest of the family. He wanted everyone to know what Ryan and Lauren had done. Emily was hesitant, worrying about how this might affect Adam, but my father said he had already spoken to Adam, and Adam had given him the green light to go ahead. My father wanted to make sure we were okay with it, and after talking it over with Emily, we agreed. Ryan's betrayal needed to be exposed, and we weren't going to protect him anymore. I know this might seem petty to some, but cheating is something I've always found despicable. To know that my own son betrayed his brother like this, it makes me sick. I've lost all respect and love for Ryan, and I can't help but wonder if we went wrong somewhere as parents. I wish this had never happened, but now that it has, I need to stand by Adam. I need to do what's right, even if it means turning my back on Ryan. His actions are unforgivable, and no amount of apologies can undo the damage he's caused. Update 1. A few days after our conversation, my father sent a message to the entire family. Here's the message he forwarded to everyone. I have always loved my grandchildren and tried to be as unbiased as possible. I'm not claiming to have been a perfect grandfather, but Judith and I have always done our best to love and care for all of them. When Adam, Ryan, and the other grandchildren were born, we set up funds for them to use however they wished. However, this came with an unspoken expectation that they would not use the money for immoral purposes. I was prepared to give Ryan the money for his wedding, but I was shocked to discover that Lauren, his fiancée, had previously been in a relationship with his brother Adam and had cheated on him with Ryan. This information was difficult to believe at first, but it has been confirmed. Therefore, I am retracting my offer to fund the wedding. What I choose to do with the money is now my own decision, and no one is entitled to it. Furthermore, I will not be attending the wedding as I cannot support such a union. I felt it necessary to share this information so that there are no misunderstandings about why I'm making this choice. This message was sent to all our close family members. I don't know if Ryan and Lauren have seen it yet, and frankly, I don't care. Shortly after my father sent the message, my sister called, asking what on earth was going on. I explained everything to her, and she was just as shocked as we were. She was furious at Ryan and said she wouldn't be attending the wedding. I told her that Emily and I had cut ties with Ryan and wouldn't be attending either. She seemed relieved, saying she had worried we might try to maintain appearances and support Ryan despite what he had done. I assured her that we were done with him. Update 2. The wedding is off. 10 days after my father's message went out, Ryan came home looking broken. He was crying and blamed us for ruining his life. He said that because of my father's message, none of the extended family was willing to attend the wedding. They had been shamed and ostracized, and Lauren couldn't handle the stress. She called off the wedding and hasn't been responding to Ryan's calls or texts. I didn't feel any sympathy for him. I just wanted him out of my house. In the midst of his meltdown, Ryan let slip that Lauren had been telling her family and friends a completely different story. She had claimed that she and Adam had broken up a year earlier, and that Adam had known about her relationship with Ryan all along. Her family believed her lies. But once my father's message circulated, the truth came out. Lauren's family was disgusted and she was disowned. Her friends who had stayed close to Adam even after the breakup abandoned her too. She's all alone now, and Ryan is blaming us for it. Ryan kept saying that we had no right to interfere in his life and that we were responsible for ruining everything. He insisted that we had caused him and Lauren to lose all their relationships and that we should have stayed out of it. Emily shut him down quickly. She told him that he had made his own choices and that we were not to blame. She said she couldn't even recognize him as her son anymore, that he was a disgrace. I asked him again why he had pursued Lauren, knowing full well what it would do to Adam. He didn't have an answer. Instead, he deflected, saying that Adam was holding on to a grudge for too long and that things like this happen all the time. I asked if he was sorry for breaking his brother's heart, and he responded by asking if we were sorry for sabotaging his wedding. That was the moment I realized there was no saving Ryan. I told him that he was no longer welcome in our lives, and this was the last time we would speak. He stormed out, leaving us shattered. Update 3. It's been a month since the wedding was called off. Ryan and Lauren have broken up, and Lauren had the audacity to try and get back with Adam. She called him, apologizing and asking for another chance, but Adam blocked her number immediately. Fortunately, she hasn't tried to contact us or show up at our house. Ryan, on the other hand, still believes he did nothing wrong. He has cut off contact with everyone, and we don't know where he is. Although I worry about him, I know that reaching out would be pointless. He's chosen his path, and there's nothing more we can do for him. This is my life now. My family is fractured beyond repair, and there's nothing I can do to fix it.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our stories and would like to hear more, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you captivating tales and new content every week. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We appreciate every one of you for being a part of our storytelling journey.